Alright guys, it's been a minute since we posted a video or came out with much content. We've been fishing some tournaments and taking some time off to spend with family. So I am sitting here in the boat and thought it would be a good time just catch everybody up on what we've been up to. So we've been fishing some tournaments in Niagara County the last few weeks. So the weekend prior to Memorial Day, we fished the Wilson Harbor Invitational. That is a 2-day tournament, so there's a bunch of things going on prior to that event. There's a 1K a day, there's a salmon slam, and I usually take that week off, run a bunch of charters, and just enjoy the fishing in Niagara County. So we fished, leading up to that tournament, we fished Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, fishing was okay. Our catches were on the smaller side as far as size goes. And then we get into Thursday, Friday. We decided to check some different water further east and found a much better quality fish over deeper water and a little bit to the east. We were fishing in between Olcott and 30 Mile Point, 425 foot of water, and everything was in the top 40-50 feet. Spring Kings in that top of the water column can be a lot of fun. They do a lot of cool directional changes, so it's definitely an exciting bite when you get off there, or when you get offshore and you can target those Spring Kings in the upper parts of the water column. So Thursday and Friday we had some really good boxes. Pictures from those charters are up on our Facebook page. But as it's been lately, we are heroes when it comes to practice serial, when it comes to the tournament. So we finished middle of the pack in that tournament. We ran back to the same water we fished for 2 days, and obviously the water's constantly moving here in Lake Ontario. That week we were faced with 4 or 5 days of just straight east winds, which kind of backs up the natural flow of our lake. Just never found that water again that we had for 2 days. And even I don't know where it goes. I've fished down there for many, many years. I have no idea where this water goes sometimes or where these fish go. But we certainly couldn't get on it for a couple days and had a mediocre tournament. Like I said, we finished halfway down the leaderboard. So we licked our wounds, took a weekend off, which was Memorial Day weekend, spent that with family. And then this past weekend, or the last few days, we fished the Niagara Pro.Am. This is a tournament that we have done well in the past, and we had a good weekend of fishing over in Niagara County. So this particular tournament is a 2-day tournament held on Friday, Saturday, with the optional Sunday if we have a blow day. So we practiced Thursday. It was a little sloppy out there. We just kind of went north out of port, set down and fished from 280 out to 400 foot of water. Had a really good bite all morning. We had some quality fish hit the deck, and then just to go check some other water, because it's nice to have a B and a C option. We ran east a little bit to see if we could run that same depth of water further east. Found colder temperatures down there, and the screen didn't look as good. We trolled it south and caught a few fish in 200 feet of water just a little bit east of Olcott. We had a really good practice day. Did not get in any tournaments, but we threw back 2 that were 20-pound fish and a few teenagers. So we had a really good practice. Kind of excited to get out there and hook into some of these better salmon. So Friday morning we head out of port and shut down in 250. I wanted to stop a little short, and we had a decent screen, so we fished there. We fished mainly 250 to 350, I'd say, most of the time in that 250 to 3, maybe a little shallower at times if we were on a hooked into a fish or whatnot. But we had no problem boxing out on day one. Our 12 fish box, I believe, weighed 98 pounds and change. We had 4 steelhead that we're catching offshore are absolute jumbos. 4 steelhead, 2 cohos, and 6 salmon on day one. 98 pound box. We were sitting in 5th place. Today, which is Saturday, we head back out there, but we stop a little bit short. I'm marking a lot of bait as I'm running out, so I stop short and I just start scanning. We've got a half-hour run time in this tournament, so you're not wasting any time shutting down and scanning if you're seeing something on your fish finder. So the Humminbird was showing bait. We shut down, marked a few pods of bait, no fish around them that I could see, and then all of a sudden the 3rd pod of bait, there was 3 fish on it. Everything was up in the upper part of the water column, and we deployed our spread when it was time to put lines in, and had a very good morning and picked off quite a few fish, and it was more quality on the salmon side. We did end up weighing 2 steelhead and 3 cohos, I believe, so we had 1 extra Chinook in the box, but we were in. I think we were done with our box around 9:30, 10 o'clock with our 12 fish, headed back to the dock. Some of our best spoons this weekend were Rodfather. I mean, Rodfather on a downrigger anywhere from 25 to 50 foot, moving it around with a free slider, seemed to be probably the most consistent spoon. Most of the time running a Dreamweaver regular size and using the Super Slim as a slider. Today I decided, I only had one of them, I decided to put down the custom Rodfather that Fish USA had made with the green dots and the UV tape on the back. Put that out in a 10 color this morning, and this absolutely rocked it for us. The 10 color Fish USA Stealth Core was on fire this morning. We started with a 7 color and a 10 color and a 300 copper, a Morgan's Tackle copper. Pulled a 7 after a few fish, drew out another 10. When we did that, we slid out because this was going so well. I decided, and I only have one of these, which is why it works so well. I decided to slide out a green jeans with the same cup. This took a fish or 2 once we got that out there. So we had our center rigger going with our silverback Rodfathers, and then we had our 10 colors going with these 2 Dreamweaver regulars with the green dots on the back. Those were some of our best spoons today. You know, love our Fish Hawk, we love our speed and temp units, but most of the time we're using them to duplicate the speeds we're fishing. The other thing we use it for is to find certain temperatures. So all spring since April, 42 degree water, 42 to 44 is where we've been catching some of our best fish on charters and during tournaments. And we like fishing that colder water. However, today we had some northwest wind yesterday blowing, and we were fishing in 50 to 55 degree water. It was actually 50 down 50 on the probe, and we were fishing 10 colors and 125 foot divers first thing in the morning. Our 40 and 50 rigger were going, and these were all salmon hanging out in 50 degree water, which is something we typically do not spend much time fishing when it comes to salmon. We certainly catch steelhead in that water once we get thermocline set up, but when we're fishing bigger salmon, we'd like to fish much colder water. But today the salmon let us know that they don't mind 50 degree water, and that's where we caught a lot of our fish. As the day went on, you can see them start dropping down into that cooler water, and we slid our divers out to 225 on 2.5s. They started going. The 300 copper with some rigged cut bait. That took our last fish, I believe. But riggers and lead core really really killed it for us today. So our box was certainly bigger than the previous day. We also had a 20-pound salmon in our box. Went to weigh in, got there early, weighed our fish in. We were leading big fish for a little bit, then got knocked out twice. So I think we hit the third biggest fish today. But we hopscotched one team, so we were in 5th place on day 1. We hopscotched one team, but we got hopscotched by 2 teams. So we ended up the tournament in 6th place, which was 1 spot out of the money. So I guess we would be the first losers. But you know, it was a great day of fishing, a great week of fishing the last 3 days, and learned some valuable stuff. You don't always have to fish the ice water to catch nice salmon. Our 20-pound salmon hit a 35 rigger, came up, did some splashing. Next thing we know, it's jumping in the front of the boat by the ball pulpit, and we're moving stuff so that because we know this is going to be a fish we're going to net off the side of the boat. Next thing we know, that fish is going down the side of the boat under the downrigger and heading back the other way. My brother was on the rod. He knew how to handle it, you know, and when it went under the downrigger, what he had to do, and he handled it perfect. We got that fish in the net, but that fish was our biggest fish, hit down 35 feet. I mean, no doubt it was 55-degree water there. And he came up and whacked. We went through so many spoons this week, and I have no idea what he hit, but it was certainly a spoon. And it just goes to show you that, you know, let the fish tell you where they want to be. But earlier in the morning, they certainly did not mind being in that 50-degree water. And as the day went on, you could see the mark start to sink a little bit. So we just started chasing that with our gear. But another great spring in Niagara County. We always look forward to those tournaments. The next few weekends we've got tournaments coming up. So we've got the Orleans County Open, which is our home port this coming weekend. It's a very fun event. It's a salmon and a trout tournament. So you have a limit of salmon and a limit of trout that you have to get each day. And then after that, we head over to Toronto to fish our first tournament over there for the season. So looking forward to that. That's always a good time seeing those guys. So yeah, we'll try to put up these little tournament recaps or 2020 videos to try and you know, figure out where we went wrong and discuss it with you guys. Maybe it'll help you guys catch a few extra fish by learning something that we did right or wrong in these tournaments. But it's always great, you know, putting your ability on the line the same day in the same water against some of the top fishermen in Lake Ontario. So we really enjoy that. But stay tuned, guys, and we'll keep some videos rolling out. And once we get done with these tournaments, we're back into charter mode. So we'll be back with the fishing reports where we'll get a little more detailed and go over some fishy stuff. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned to the channel.